Hey everybody, it's Emma. Thank you very much for joining me in this second Project Pan update video. So I'm using these Project Pan videos to both get through unnecessary products. So if I have like 5 face primers, I don't need 5 face primers. So I'll focus on one and use it up, focus on one and use it up until I have a decent amount, to me anyway. And also it's a way to kind of focus on a product maybe that I don't use that often, and to see if I really want to keep it around in my collection, if it's worth having, or if I can declutter it. So that's kind of my approach to the Project Pan universe. So like I said, this is the second update video, and let's just dive right in, shall we? So first product I want to talk about is the e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer, which I added into my Project Pan on my first update video. I have since used this up. I enjoyed it a lot more in the wintertime. I found this a little too heavy and hydrating for my skin right now, but it is a very nice primer. There's not a ton of product in here, but it is definitely hydrating. It's very silicone-y, it's very smoothing. The packaging is super cute, and it's really inexpensive. It's like $6 for this bottle. And like I said, I didn't enjoy it as much now because it just felt too heavy for me. But if you have dry skin, or if you're in a dry environment, or, you know, it's wintertime where you are, or when you're watching this, this might be something to check out. If you have oily skin, or if it's summer and humid, this might be a little too much. Now, I only have 2 other face primers in my collection. I'm not really going to add in another one for the Project Pan because I feel like both of these have a place. So one is from Milani and one is from NYX. So the NYX Pore Filler, I want to love this because people rave about it, and I don't get it yet. I honestly have not used it that much because I've been focusing on these other primers, so I definitely want to use this a little more to see if I can get what the hype is. It's supposed to be a very smoothing primer, kind of a natural looking. It's not mattifying, it's not glowy. And then the other primer I have is the Milani Prime Light, which is a glowy hydrating primer. So I feel like they're 2 separate things that both have a place, if that makes sense. The Pore Filler, shake it up, has that kind of almost fluffy silicone-y sort of texture to it. It's kind of this peach color. And it does feel, I mean, it feels really soft and smooth on my hand. The few times I've used this, haven't noticed a huge difference. Hopefully now that I've said that, I'll notice a difference. And then the Prime Light, I've heard is a dupe for MAC Strobe Cream. I don't know, I've never used MAC Strobe Cream, but it's this kind of more white lotion texture, and it has a glow to it. It's not shimmery or sparkly. It's not completely blended in, but you can kind of get the idea. And sometimes I like to just use this on its own if I'm not putting anything else on my face. I think it's really more of a placebo effect than anything. And right now that we're in pretty proper summertime, my face gets glowy enough on its own, so I haven't really been reaching for this, but I do really enjoy this product. Next up is this e.l.f. Clear Brow and Lash Gel. I've finished this as much as I care to. I could probably get a use or 2 out of the other end. It's fine. I have it in my brows right now. It adds a little bit of texture, a little bit of hold. It doesn't last fantastic. It doesn't feel too crispy or crunchy either if you don't put too much product on. It's fine in a pinch, and it's a good way to experiment with a clear brow or lash gel because this is like $2, but I'm probably not going to buy it again unless I'm in a pinch and I need a clear brow gel for cheap. I do have this sample from Ulta, the Ulta Brow Gel, that I would like to kind of replace the e.l.f. one with. As you can see from how gross it looks in there, I have used this a couple of times, and I find it to be quite similar to the e.l.f. one, quite frankly. But it's not terrible, so I figure I might as well use it and get it out of my collection. The next product I talked about in my first updates video was the Ulta Demi Matte Foundation in Classic Ivory. I have since decluttered that product because I have things in my collection that I prefer to use, and it didn't seem worth it to keep using a product that I didn't like when I had products I do like. This Buxom Show Some Skin Weightless Foundation, which you're going to get real sick of hearing about, but it's awesome. I love it. It's like my perfect everyday foundation. It's great for the summer. It's very lightweight. It is not a full coverage product. It will not leave your skin flawless in that sort of sense, but it's my kind of perfect foundation. It looks like skin. It makes my skin just look nice, and I love it a lot. So I decluttered the Ulta. So the next product I had talked about in that video was the Wet n Wild Illumi-naughty Highlighting and Concealing Pen in Ivory Into You. I have since used that up. If you are interested in hearing more about that, I will link my latest empties video, which had that in there, and I am replacing it with this Photo Focus concealer, also from Wet n Wild. This is a little bit darker and a little bit more pinky toned than the Illumi-naughty, and I feel like this is a little bit kind of creamier and heavier. It's definitely one of those products where you don't need that much of it because it spreads out really well and blends in nicely, but it can definitely crease if you put too much on, which I have a bad habit of doing. It's good. It's vegan, which is nice. It's cruelty free. I'm not over the moon about it. But it's fine, and I will continue to use it until it either goes bad or I finish it up. Now, in the previous couple of Project Pan videos, I had the NYX No Filter face powder in there for some reason. I don't know why, because there's a shit ton of product in there. It's going to take me so long to use it up. The past couple of months, I've been traveling a lot, so I have been taking products that are more travel-friendly, smaller, slimmer. So I've actually been using, instead of my Project Pan, this CoverAll pressed powder from Wet n Wild. It's in the shade Fair Light, and as you can see, I'm almost done with it. So I am just kind of pressing pause on the NYX and gonna finish this up since it's so close to being gone anyway. That way I don't have, half used up products while I focus on one that's gonna take forever. So there we go. I really like the CoverAll powders. I think they are amazing, not just for the price of $2.99, but they don't look cakey, and I tend to be a little heavy-handed with powder anyway, so I appreciate that. It's a little bit more mattifying. I do also have the Wet n Wild, the new Photo Focus powder, and I find that to be a little bit too kind of natural glowy for me at the moment. I'll probably like it a lot better in the winter, but it's not as mattifying as I would prefer. It's really great, really inexpensive. I am noticing that it's not actually in many stores anymore since, all of the new Wet n Wild products have kind of come out. But you can still get it on the website, and I find it in Rite Aid. So there you go. Next up is the Essence Lash Princess Mascara, which I have, again, used up. It was a good mascara. I find it to be a nice kind of more natural, everyday-ish mascara. It's not my holy grail. I would prefer a little bit more oomph, a little bit more volume and length, and just a little bit more of everything. But I love the packaging. I mean, it's really cute to look at, but this rubbery stuff at the top, I'm noticing as I'm using mascaras that don't have that, how awesome this is. It seems like such a silly thing. And obviously, first world problems, I can't get my mascara top off. But still, it can be annoying to be like, I can't, especially if you've been putting makeup on, maybe your hands have lotion or something on them. Anyway, I really I really like this kind of rubbery stuff at the top, and I also really liked the brush. It's not too gigantic. It's very workable. I will probably repurchase this at some point in my continued and probably forever search for my holy grail mascara. But I did enjoy it, and to replace that, I have the iHeart Extreme Volume Mascara. I probably won't have this for too long because I had bought both closer together than I should have, and I just kind of focused my attention on the Lash Princess first, and now attention has shifted to the iHeart Extreme. Now, this is not the first tube I've ever bought of this. I enjoy this mascara a lot. The brush is a little bit more awkward and large than I would prefer. It's very long and fat, so it can be a little bit difficult to work with, but the bristles are nice and short, which I appreciate. And it does give a really nice effect to the lashes. I'm wearing it right now. Again, it's nothing like, oh my god, I love this mascara so much. But it's definitely a very good, very inexpensive, cruelty-free mascara. Both of these products are. And I would be happy to hear any of your mascara recommendations. I was gonna pull the trigger on that limited edition Tarte one that came. I think it's just their regular Tarte. What is it? Tarte Camera Lashes. Lights Camera Lashes. Tarte Camera Lashes. That makes no sense. Lights Camera Lashes. I think that's their kind of regular mascara. But it was in the holographic tube with all their silly unicorn things. I was gonna buy it, but then it was gone, so I couldn't. But I have heard really good things about that mascara. So if you have any recommendations for a good, really, you know, volumizing, lengthening mascara, extra points if it's a tubing mascara. That's really what I want. I really want a tubing mascara. I have tried the NYX Doll Eye one, and it's all right, but it's again pretty natural looking. So let me know if you have any thoughts, suggestions, smart remarks. Last but not least, I had my Sonia Kashuk Raspberry Nude Velvety Matte Lip Crayon thing. I decluttered it. I wasn't using it on my lips. It did make a nice blush, but I wasn't reaching for it, so I let it go. It's fine. To replace it, this is not something that I intend to finish, but it is something I would like to use more, and that is the Urban Decay Vice Lip Palette. It's a ridiculous thing for me to own. I mean, you can't travel with it, really. I guess you can, but it's kind of bulky. It's very nice. Like, the product is nice. The things in here are nice. It's not a practical item, but I don't want to get rid of it because it's really nice. So I just want to justify having it in my collection. I've used all the lipsticks in here, but I think what I want to do, I'm going to do these Project Pan updates, I think, once a month or so, depending on how I get through product. So I think for the next month, whenever I use lipstick, I'm going to try to use this. Now, with the way my life is, I have a little bit more leeway to do that because I don't have like a 9-to-5 job. I don't have to have something that either I can throw in my purse or that needs to last an entire workday all the way through. You know, I'm back and forth. I'm teaching a class here, teaching a class there. So I have a little bit more freedom, I think, to make this work. But I'm going to experiment with it this month, and we'll see how it goes in the next Project Pan update, check-in, whatever you want to call it. So that is it for now. I am planning on doing another collection overview declutter sort of series so I can get a better sense of what I have and what I'd like to focus on, what I'd like to use up. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. And I hope you are having a wonderful day. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.